to Classic Fashion Design Academy YouTube channel. My name is Kehinde Oluwabukola, Creative Director of Classic Fashion Design Academy. Still in our beginner series. In previous video, we talked about the basic parts of a sewing machine and some patterning symbols. Today we are going to be looking at zippers, but please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Today we are looking at zipper. A zipper is a fastener that is used to bind the opening edge of the fabric together when sewing. A fastener can be any other sewing material that helps you to create an opening on any fashion project you are working on. You need to create an opening for you to be able to access whatever you are working on. Like if you are making a skirt, you are making a trouser, you are making a blouse, you are making a dress, a fastener must be there. It helps you to create an opening so that you can access it. If you want to wear a skirt now, you must open up the zip. If you want to wear a trouser, you must open up the trousers before you can access it. So anything that helps you to create an opening on your fashion project for ease for you to be able to access it is what is called a fastener. So zips also happens to be a fastener. There are other types of fasteners like buttons, loops, velcro, so many of them. But today we are just looking at zipper as a fastener. Now there are different types of zippers. The two major classifications of zippers are the ones that has closed bottom. This is an example of a zipper. This is a kind of zipper that has a closed bottom. There is a stopper like a metal at the base of the zip. That as you are trying to zip it down, it prevents the zip edge from falling up. So that is a kind of that is a class of zip on its own. They have closed end. Majority of zip fall into that. And the other types of zip are the zip that has separated bottom end. These are the kind of zip that has separated bottom end. As you zip it down to the very tip, the two get separated. These are the kind of zip that you find mostly in jackets. The other one you find it mostly in dresses, in trousers, in skirts. They don't have an open end, they have closed end. The other type of zip has open end, and by the time the two is separated, you can also easily fix it back at the base. You can easily fix it back at the base by slipping the iron edge into the zipper edge. Then you zip it up. So those are the two major classes of zips. Before we go on, I want us to see the anatomy of a zipper. This is a typical example of a zip. The top, the top stop at the very upper part of the zip, there are two metal that helps to stop the zipper edge from running out. Like by the time you are slipping it, that is the top stop. You can see it on both sides. There's a shiny silver metal. It can be gold depending on the type of zip. That small iron that is clipped at both ends of the zip teeth prevents it from falling off. Every zip has that. That is the top stop of the zip. Then you also have the slider body. Like the zip edge, that is the slider body. You can see it. That is the slider body of the zip. That is, we mostly refer to it as the zip edge. That is the slider body. Then you have the pull top. That is what the edge. That is what helps you to pull the slider body. It is attached with like a ring circle that is attached to the slider body. It helps you to move the zip edge up and down. That is the pull tab. Look at it. That is the pull tab. Depending on the size of the zip, it can be small, it can be large. So that is the pull tab. Is the slider body that holds the pull tab in place. Now you also have the zip teeth, the zipper teeth. You can see the zipper teeth. When you are fixing the zip, you have to be extremely careful so that the needle will not crush the teeth. We are still going to look at various types of zip. Like when you are fixing it, if you are not careful enough, if the needle crushes the zip teeth, it will run out the zip completely. So that is the zip teeth. It's a delicate part of the zip that you have to be conscious of when you are fixing the zip. Then on both sides of the teeth, you have the tape. That is the fabric part of it. You have it on both sides. That is the tape. Then at the tail end of the zip as well, you have the bottom stop, just as you have as you have it on the top stop. You also have the bottom stop. That also helps to hold the zipper head from falling off the zip completely when you are either zipping it up or zipping it down. So that is just the basic anatomy of what the zip looks like. It can be interesting when you are fixing the zip if you know how to go about it. But if you don't understand how to go about it, it can be frustrating. But by the end of this video, I'm sure you are going to have a better understanding of how to fix your zippers. Now let's look at the other various types of zips. We have the nylon coil zipper. This is the nylon coil zipper. We are looking at various zips now according to their zip teeth. This is the nylon coil zipper. The nylon coil zipper is a very strong type of zip. You can find it on garments, you can also find it on bags, on any material that carry heavy things like luggage. It is a very strong teeth that does not easily get broken or worn out. And even if worn out, it can easily be fixed back. So this type of zip teeth is called the nylon coil zipper. The next type of zip we are looking at now is the invisible zipper. This is the invisible zipper. You cannot view the zip teeth at all. You cannot view the zip teeth at all. It's a very delicate zip. You find it in skirts, in trousers, and in garments generally. It's not ideal for anything that is heavy, like carrying luggage. So the invisible zipper is a very delicate zip. It's not as strong as the coil zipper. So you have to be extremely careful when you are fixing it because once the needle crushes the teeth, of an invisible zip, you may not be able to use it again. Next to that is the metal zipper. This is the kind of the zip teeth that is metal. It can be silver, it can be gold. You mostly find metal zipper on denim like jean trouser, jean skirt. It's also strong on bags that for luggage. It's a very kind of strong zip too. When you are sewing, you have to be careful. The teeth is not easily broken, but it can destroy the sharp edge of your needle when you are working on your fashion projects. So you have to be extremely careful as well when you are fixing this kind of zipper. They are metal. The teeth is metal. It can be gold, it can be silver. And all zips generally has various heads. That is the pull tab. The pull tab, at times it can be fanciful. Now the next type of zip is the molded plastic zipper. Look at what the tip looks like. The molded plastic zipper. The teeth is actually plastic. It can also be easily broken. I mean, the needle can crush it. So you should also be careful when you are fixing it. You can see the teeth. Look, you can look at the zip teeth. It's actually different from all others. So those are the four major classes of zippers according to their teeth. So when you are fixing them, you have to be careful. Then the other type of zipper are zippers that run, that they are continuous zipper. All these other type of zip we are talking about come in various sizes. Like you can have 8 inches, 22 inches. The smaller zip, like 8 inches, is what is actually used for skirts and your trousers. But the longer one, you can use them on your dresses or any long gown you are working on. Now, the continuous zipper, there are special type of zipper that, you know, when you are getting them in the market, you have to buy them in yardage. I don't have such zip here now, but it's mostly measured in yardage. It's got like 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yards, 5 yards. So you are the one that will measure the yardage that you want. And for you to use that type of zip, you will have to cut it in piece according to the fashion project you are working on. They can be extremely long. If you are working on a long fashion project, then you cut the zip according to the size of what you are working on. And those zippers comes with zip head. Just like you buy the zip in Yade, you also buy the zipper head too in dozens. That is the pull tab. You buy it in the slider body. You buy it in dozens. So as you cut the zip according to the size that you want to use, you now fixing the zipper head. You fixing the zipper head or the slider body yourself according to the fashion project that you are working on. You cut it according to the size that fits what you are working on. So that is the continuous zipper. Now, I have two other types of zip here. They can be fancy zips. You put them to create fancy or to as a decorative zip. If you look at this is the stone zip. You can see it. When you are fixing this as well, you have to be very careful. You can see that it's a special tip with stones. Look at this other one too. It's also a special tip. It has a rainbow color. So there are some zips that fall in, that serves as decorative ornaments on your fashion project. They are not like every other. They are not like the regular zips. So there are some specially made zips that is actually meant to create, fancy on your fashion project. So those generally are the kinds of zips that we have. And we also have various methods of zipper application. I'm going to show you the various methods of the zipper application practically. The first one is the exposed zipper application method, then the lap or conceal method, and the invisible method. Come to the sewing machine where I'm going to demonstrate the practical method of the various types of zipper application. This is the zipper method. This is the invisible zipper method application. On this skirt, there's an invisible zip. You can see it that is well fixed so that you cannot view or see the teeth of the zip. When you fix an invisible zip, this is exactly how it should be. You are not to see the zip at all, except when you open it. You can see that I zip it up. So that is the invisible method. This is what it looks like, and this is the invisible zip, where you cannot see the teeth at all. I'm going to show you the practical demonstration of how to do that. So the first method is the invisible zipper method. Now the second one is also the concealed or the lap method. The concealed or the lapped method. You can also not view the zipper teeth. You can't view the zipper at all because it's concealed with this lap. You can see it is concealed with this. This is also a method of fixing zip. I'm going to show you that too. Now the third method we are going to look at is the visible method, where you can actually view the zipper teeth. You can see the teeth. So we are going to be looking at those three methods of zipper application one after the other. Let's continue. Now, in order to do that, these are fully sewn skirts, but I prepared this piece of calico, which is going to represent where we are going to fix the zipper. I've joined the two together at the tip. This comes in the length of the zip we are going to use. You can see these are the two ends. Even any fashion project you are working on, I want you to build this. You must have the zipper allowance. You can see this is the zipper allowance. I have ironed it to form a crease on it. Look at the crease form. So we will try to follow this crease where we are going to fix our zipper. So any fashion project you are working on, you must create the zipper allowance and it must be well ironed. The crease formed by the ironing can help you to, you can just trace it to place your zipper along that crease. So it will make your work easier. So we are going to use each of these for the various zips that we are going to fix. Okay, we want to run the machine now to fix our zipper. In the previous video, I show you the various parts of the machine and we run the machine manually. But to fix these zippers, you can run the machine with electric. All manual machine can be run with electric. All you need to do is to get this electric motor and the pedal. So place the pedal close to your feet and fix this. There is a knob here. There is a perforated knob here. On this part, you just use your screw. Use the screw to fix the motor to your machine and plug it and plug the foot, the electric foot directly to it and place it close to your feet. Then you'll be pressing it gradually. Actually, if you actually understand how the machine runs manually, it's also exactly the same thing as when you use the electric. So as you place the foot close to, the electric foot close to your foot, just be pressing it gradually. Then you are going. So let's get along with our zippers now. Now, this is the invisible zip. We are going to start with the invisible zip. I want you to understand the peculiarities of the invisible zip. Is quite different from other zippers. Now, I, I bring down the slide, the pull tab where you that holds the slide. I bring it down. Now, when you do that, if you look at the zipper teeth closely, the zipper teeth folds or wraps a little. Look at it. This is the zipper teeth. It folds or wraps a little. You have to open it. Look at it. I'm trying to open it. Just get any invisible zipper and open. Try and open the zipper teeth. Look at it. It folds a little. Open it. You can see how I'm trying to open it. So you are actually going to sew directly behind the teeth wide open. If it's not open, there's no way you can fix it perfectly because you are going to plant your stitches directly behind the teeth, and for you to achieve that, you must unwrap or open it up. So you need your machine foot to keep it open. You have to place the machine foot on it while it's open before you can sew it correctly. And your stitch must be directly behind the zipper teeth. So let's look at it now on the machine. This is the invisible zip. This is the back of the zip. This is the back of the zip, and this is the fabric you want to fix it on. Just place it like this. Just place it on it. You can see it now. Look at it. So that you can be sure that it's facing the right direction. Look at it. So now you turn it in. So this is how you want to fix the zip. I hope you understand what I just did. Let me repeat that again. This is the slide. This is the slide and the pull tab. This is it. This is the invisible zipper facing you. Now, This is the assumed fabric that you want to fix the zipper on. This is the right face of the fabric. Just place it on the zipper for you to know how it should be on the fabric. For you to be sure that you place it in the right direction. Now turn it towards you. Now, so this is how you are going to fix the zipper. Now, along the crease formed when you iron, make sure that the zipper teeth is so close to it. Then you can use your pin to secure it or to hold it down. Can you see? Just use your pin to hold it down. That is on the zipper allowance that you have created. You can see now that use the pin to hold it down so that while I sew, it can be stable. And don't forget that the two ends that want to hold my zipper I've joined it together. I've sewn the tip. So that is where my zipper will end to. So now I've fixed a part. Of the one part of the zip to the fabric, to the material. I'm holding it temporarily with the zip while I go ahead to fix it on the machine. Now, like I said, you have to unwrap. I have unwrapped it now. Majorly, the invisible zip is always wrapped. The zipper teeth is a little bit wrapped. It folds. You have to unfold and plant your stitch directly behind the teeth for it to really look invisible when you finish sewing. And we are going to start sewing a little bit away from the top stopper. That is the metal, the silver metal that is meant to stop the slide from running out. So you are going to start a little bit above it to create a kind of allowance when you want to fix it, or to fix any other thing to it. So you can look at it. This is the silver stopper, the top stopper. Don't start sewing directly from there. Just take it, just go above it a little bit. You have the zipper teeth does not really get to the tip. It doesn't get to the end. The essence of that is for you to use that as your sewing allowance. So now you place it on the machine and try to unwrap. So as you unwrap it, this other part of the machine foot should press the teeth. Should no the teeth should be directly under it, so that this will be as a guide for it, so that it will not come near the needle. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. This is the teeth. Try to unfold it, and as you unfold it, let it be directly under the machine foot, especially the one that is closer to you. Unfold it and place it directly under the machine foot, the part that is closer to you. Then in between the machine foot, you are going to plant your stitch directly behind the teeth, because the needle should not crush the zipper teeth. So now let's run along. Just go slow and steady, and as you are going, be unfolding the teeth. Be unfolding the teeth gradually. Be unfolding the teeth gradually, and make sure that is directly under the machine foot, the part that is closer to you. So we are done with a part now. You can see the stitch that is directly behind the zipper teeth. Now we've done a side, we are going to do the other side in like manner. Also secure the other part too with your pin. Let it be close to the crease form while you iron. Please, I want you to note that the tip where you must where you start sewing from, you must gauge it well to make sure that it's exactly at the same distance. Look at it. Make sure that it's exactly on the same distance on the fabric, so that when you finish sewing, both sides will balance. A part will not be longer or shorter than the other. Make sure that you actually start sewing at exactly the same distance. That is very necessary. Make sure you start sewing exactly at the same distance. If you try to gauge it and you discover it's not at exactly the same close range, you have to correct that from the onset, or else it will not come out beautifully well. Invisible zipper is always very beautiful on sewing projects, but it depends on how careful you fix it. If it depends on the attention you give when you are fixing it. If you just fix it shabbily, you won't like it yourself. So exactly how we run the first one, you do the same. Now you also unwrap the zipper hood, the zipper teeth rather. Then let it be directly under the machine foot. And you carefully plant your stitch directly behind the teeth. Try as much as possible to make sure that throughout the time you are sewing, you do not allow the zipper tip to come in contact with the needle, else it will spoil it. When you are done, you remove all the pins. So, and you carefully zip it up. Please always trim off every unwanted thread around the zipper teeth so that it will not obstruct the movement of the slide. So the zipper teeth is not visible. You can see that it's perfectly closed. It's perfectly closed. When you are zipping it up and down, there should be no any friction. If it's well fixed, there should be no any friction. No thread should obstruct it. There should be no any friction. And towards the tail end here too, it should be smooth. If it's not smooth towards the tail end here, you can just hold it together like this and realign your stitch here. Realign your stitch to meet up with the one that is holding the main zip. So that is it with the invisible zipper application method. Now let's proceed to the other method. Let's do the concealed lapped method. So the concealed lap method, this is the zipper and this is where you want to fix it. Just like I did the other time, the zipper head is facing you, the slide is and the pull tab is facing you. Then this is where you want to fix it facing you, put it on it. Just for you to know how the zip is meant to be so that you will not fix it on the wrong part. So now, going that way now, the lap method, you look at the metal, the top metal and the one at the top and the one at the bottom. You have to be mindful of the two because both should not come in contact with the machine needle. Now, what you are going to do is actually better to leave, to open a part, to fix this while the zipper is opened like this. So now, just start with a part. Just start from the part. Now, the main fabric where you are fixing the zipper and a part of the zipper should be together like this. Then you place the two carefully. Allow the zipper teeth to come out while the crease part, where you iron, the tip of the crease form is directly close to the zipper teeth. It's not covering it and the two is not at the same page. The fabric is a little bit behind while the zipper teeth is before it. So that is how you will place it under the machine foot and sew gradually. You are actually sewing directly at the tip of the fabric. Don't forget, you are sewing directly at the tip of the fabric while the machine tip is also before it. So now we are done sewing the first part. You can see it. You can see that the fabric is very close to the teeth. Place it as close as possible to the zipper teeth. But make sure that you are not sewing on the teeth. You are sewing directly behind it on the fabric. So when you are done with the part like that, while the fabric is still the fabric and the zipper is still under the machine foot, you carefully turn it and negotiate to the other side. You want to move to this side now so you can zip it up. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. While the machine needle is still holding the fabric and the zipper together, we are done with a side. You want to negotiate a bend to the other side so that you can lap the other part of this on the on the stitch that you have done initially. This other part is meant to cover up the zipper teeth and the stitch you have done on the other part. So that is the key note of this method. You want to lap this over the machine teeth and the stitch that you have sewn initially. So that is why the zipper and the fabric must be together. It must be intact. You don't want to break the stitch that is coming. Where you stop, negotiate a bend. We are coming this way, negotiate, we are coming this way, negotiate a bend this way so that this other part can lap over it. So you are covering up the zipper teeth and the stitch that you have sewn on the other part of the fabric. So now, this is how you negotiate your bend to create the lap for it to cover up the zipper teeth and the stitch you have done initially. So when you have negotiated the bend this way, you can now drop your machine foot. You only raise the machine foot to negotiate the bend while the fabric and the zipper is still under the machine foot while the needle is holding the two in place. That is when you should negotiate the bend so that the stitch can run through. Now I have lapped it over, covering the zipper teeth and the stitch that I have done initially. So I have negotiated the bend this way. You now drop your zipper tooth. You drop your zipper tooth when you are sure that the zipper teeth and the stitch is covered up. Now you sew along. You carefully take through the zipper teeth your needle. Carefully run it with your hand before you now turn it up. And so you can see that it has covered it up. Now you can drop your zipper teeth and run carefully along again. Always make sure that the two fabric is meeting at the same end. On no condition should you fix a zip that one part will be longer than the other. And from the beginning to the end, make sure that you lap it. You lap the other part of the fabric, covering the zipper teeth and the stitch you have done. So hold it in place like that and maintain a straight stitch. Make sure you are sewing behind the zipper teeth so that it will not crush your needle. When you are getting close, the zipper teeth, the zipper head or the slide can affect it. So you just carefully raise your machine foot and slip it down, open it down so that you can sew through, maintaining the same distance. When you are done. So now, this is your slider and the head. You can now zip it up. Now, this is the conceal method, the lap method. You can see it now that is covering up the zipper teeth and the stitch on the other side. So that is the concealed or the lap method. You can see it. Now let's proceed to the last method. In this method, we are going to open the zipper teeth. We are not covering anything. We are going to open it. So, in order to do that, what we are going to do will be similar to what we did when we fixed the invisible zipper. Because what we want to look at our zip allowance. This is the zip. Let's assume this is the main fabric that you want to fix the zip. So this is the zipper allowance. This is also the zipper allowance. What you want to do is to sew your stitch from the inside. it to show here so that we can view. Look at it. It's going to be this way. It's going to be this way. Your stitch is going to be inside on both sides so that we can actually have a view of the zipper teeth. It's going to be like this. You are not covering anything. So if you are, this method is actually good for all fancy zips. You are not covering anything. You want the zipper teeth to show. So you are not covering anything. The slider and the pull and everything, the slider, the pull and the zipper tip, everything would have to show. The only thing that may not show is this bottom stop. Now, so in order to do this, like I said, place the zip before you, this way facing you, then place the fabric on it to be sure you are in the right direction. So when you have done that, just turn it back. For you to do this, it's better to sew on your zipper allowance following the crease you have formed as well. You can bring down your tab and slide it down, then secure with pin. Secure with pin. You can secure both sides with pins at once to make it easier for you. Make sure that the two is at the same range so that after sewing, one will not come up shorter or longer than the other. And make sure that you do it, you pin it close, the crease form while you iron. The zipper teeth is close to it on both sides. So when you are done sewing, it's going to be this way. When you are done sewing, it's going to be this way. You take down your slider again and you now sew. Also with this method, you are just going to sew directly behind the teeth. This is the zipper teeth. You are planting your stitch directly behind it, just as if you are fixing invisible zip. To do this, be mindful of the top stop, that metal, so that it will not crush the needle. Make sure that the teeth is directly under the foot. It's easier if you can secure the tooth directly under the machine foot. When you are getting closer, it may be slipping off, but just take it back carefully and make sure you sew directly behind the teeth. Then you do the same to the other side. As you go gradually, be removing the pins. slow and steady. Don't be too much in a hurry to finish up. Pull up your slide when you are done. Now, that is it. That's it. Done with the various methods. With these three methods, there's no any fashion project that you will not be able to handle. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In our next video, we are going to be looking at introduction to skirt making, pattern drafting, and clothing construction. Bye.